What is going on today, YouTube? I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Today, we're going to be hitting you guys with some support information. I've been a support for 6 years now. I was a pro for like 3 years in PC and 2 or 3 years on console. I've been playing the game for a really long time, and I kind of have a routine or just things I think about when I'm playing the game. Today, I tried to write down as many of them as I could and just bring them to you guys and explain to you what I'm thinking, like what's the question on my mind, what are different types of answers, and just stuff like that, so you guys can get to either thinking for yourself, or you can just be able to see how I see the game, and then maybe it's not even thinking for yourself, maybe it's just something you kind of do, because a lot of the times I'm at the point where I don't think, which can be bad sometimes, I just kind of do because I know what I need to do. Sometimes it gets me in trouble because I'm like too aggressive or something, but sometimes it works out really well because it's that quick thinking, it's that instant reaction that I have that can be the difference between a winning fight and a losing fight. So starting out from the top, number one, when you're loading into the game, the first thing you need to do ever before anything else, firstly, you should be thinking about your build and what your relics need to be. It just needs to be like a rough draft. Think of it like you're writing a paper in English class. It just needs to be a rough draft. I'm going to go Benevolence because I want some type of backline peel this game, either Heroism, Compassion. I'm going to go Cloak because I can stack it very easily. They have a little bit of healing. I want the Contagion. The Contagion pairs well with Cloak so I can get some stacks quicker. Stuff like that. Mark it down in your mind. It'll just be something quick. It doesn't need to be this is my exact build, but you should be thinking about it. It can change during the game. That's fine. Maybe you realize, okay, I don't really need this anti-heal. I've got a jungler with brawlers and my mid laner's got divine. Heck it, let's go breastplate so I can get more cooldown. I want to just spam abilities. Whatever it is, have a rough draft of your build and your relics and then change it if you need to. Number two, the next thing you need to do we win this 2v2? Is my ADC support duo better than their ADC support duo, God-wise? I guess maybe player-wise too, if you really think the other players are bad. Can we win this 2v2? Do we need to win this 2v2? Think about how the 2v2 will play out. Do they have an auto-clear hunter like Izanami and you cannot match that? But maybe level 3, you can fight them, but you don't want to do it around the wave because they clear too quick. Can we win the 2v2? Maybe if we go like a horrific, we can actually maybe outdamage them and just reduce their damage enough and we can fight in the wave on this first wave, or medbait them or something like that. Do we need to win this 2v2? Are they playing something so weird that it does not matter that we don't even need to win the 2v2? Do they have a support Eye of the Jungle Thanatos? Do we need to win this 2v2? No. You'll outscale. Don't die in this 2v2. You do not need to win it. They will fall off by level 5. Literally at level 5, you will start spiking super hard and they will stay even because they have to farm their teammates' jungle or they have to farm your jungle, which means they're going to be out of position. And they're also splitting less, which means they're not getting value from sentinels. Third point, is there anyone on the enemy team that I can punish right now? Does their soul laner have no beads or ult in your Ares? Is their jungler a movement ability character and you're playing Ardio and you can kind of just run them down? Their mid laner you see is on green buff and you have Ymir wall and you can maybe collapse on him and kill him. Stuff like that. Just think about, is there anyone on the enemy team you can punish? It doesn't need to be a kill. It could just be a buff, but that's kind of with my fourth point. Is there a buff spawning I need to be at? Your blue buff, your allies are sprinting to that blue buff, and you know the support's going to be there. Get to that blue buff. They're purple buff spawning, and you know you and your ADC are very, very strong. You need to be at that blue buff. You should be going to that. It's a very simple one. Is there a buff that's spawning that you need to be at? Another one is, does someone have a relic down? And this kind of goes hand in hand with punishing someone. Maybe their support doesn't have their shell up, and so maybe you're playing Odin, and you can cage them, and they can't Phantom Shell out, or you just have a med advantage and they don't have that in support and you just win this 2v2 right now. Does their ADC mid jungle not have beads? That one's a really simple one. Does their solo not have TP? And my solo does. That's a very, very big advantage that you had that you can force a fight on. Around the mid part of the game, your thoughts have kind of changed a little bit. Instead of just buffs in the enemy, it's, can we force this objective? Did you see a mid laner back and you can just walk to this Gold Fury and just 50-50 it because you have the mid lane burst? Pyro's spawning. You can sit in mid as the support and zone out the enemy mid laner so your jungle and mid can just solo this Pyromancer. Fire Giant around 20 minutes. Can we go to this Fire Giant? Fire Giant around 30 minutes. We have to be around this EFG. Stuff like that. And then when it comes to actual fights, you should be thinking after a 2v2, after a 3v3, 4v4, 5v5s. Do I need to peel more? Do I need to dive more? Was that fight how I envisioned it? Say you won the fight. Could you have won it better? Should you have been diving maybe a little bit more? Were you diving too deep? Was your positioning not good? You got punished. Do you need to be peeling more? Another one kind of hand in hand. This one should be at the tip of your mind after every single fight. Could I have played that fight better? Did I have bad relic timings? Did I engage the fight poorly? Was my teammate's positioning not ready for me? Did I miss an ability? That one's a little less important because if you miss an ability, you should never plan to miss an ability. Otherwise, you'll just never do anything. So it's a little different. But would that fight have gone better if I hit that ability? Maybe you lost it and you're like, Okay, if I hit that one, we 100% win it. This guy, no beads or whatever. That's something you should be thinking about also. But it could be even beyond that. It could be, was that not even a fight we should have taken? Were they so strong? Like they have 9 items on the enemy team and we're sitting at 7 and they're just so much stronger. There's nothing we could have done. These are things you should be thinking about through the entire course of the game. And then lastly, for a sieging one, this one's a little more important for comp because sieging is very, very difficult to make happen in ranked, but you can kind of set it up sometimes. Was that siege how it should have happened? Should we be 5v5ing? Should we have a 4-1 split? Should we have a 3-1-1 split? 2-3 split? 2-1-2 split? Whatever it is there a split we could have done better to be able to fight against the enemy team's fight? If you think about it, like the enemy team has an Apwash mid lane. Do you want to 5v5 into an Apwash on one Phoenix? Rarely no. Rarely no. However, do you have a Kali who's level 20 and they have a level 18 Bakasura? You send them both to solo side and you sit 4-man on duo side. That should be a pretty free fight for the Kali. The Kali should be able to win that. You can just default that. Maybe type in chat, Kali go solo. We can't siege over here. We need you to win the 1v1. Obviously, you're relying on someone else, which doesn't feel great. But would you rather rely on that Kali in a 1v1? Or would you rather have your team 5v5 the enemy Opwash under his Phoenix? Kind of comes down to which is the lesser of two evils. I'll take that Kali winning that 1v1. Ranked players are shitters, but surely he's winning that. But there it is. Just some thoughts I had. I hope this helps you guys a little bit. Maybe it gets you guys thinking about the game differently, some different ideas. If you guys have any questions, any things that maybe I missed out on that you guys like, what do you think about this? Is this something you really put a lot of time into? Let me know down below if there's anything that I did miss. If you guys did like this type of video, I can try to make more. I can try to make more for other roles too. I'm trying to transition a little bit out of being a support main content creator with other roles sprinkled in. I want to be more diverse, but still focused mainly on support. So if there is other roles you guys want to see for certain videos that I do, obviously comment, spam it down below. If it gets a lot of likes, obviously if a lot of people want to see ADC stuff because they feel like ADC stuff is a little out of date for other people or whatever, I can try to get to that too. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.